How to Become the Best Lawyer, based on a true story.
The interview from hell. Bob had been unemployed for months, living off ramen and pure desperation. So when he got an interview at a top law firm, even though he had no legal experience, he took it. He walked into the skyscraper, dressed in his best suit, which was actually his cousin's wedding tux. The receptionist gave him a strange look but pointed him to the interview room. Mr. Davidson. The interviewer, an older gentleman with thick glasses, smiled. Bob nodded, trying to hide the fact that he had no idea what he was doing. So, the man continued, tell us why you believe you're qualified for this role. Bob panicked. He could either admit he had mistakenly applied for the job, or fake it till he made it. Well, Bob started, I believe justice is like a pizza. The interviewer raised an eyebrow. It has layers, it requires balance, and if you leave it too long, it gets cold and unappealing. The interviewer nodded thoughtfully. What would you say is your greatest strength? Bob hesitated, then confidently said, objection. The interviewer blinked. Excuse me. Bob cleared his throat. Sustained. A long silence filled the room. The interviewer tapped his fingers, then suddenly burst into laughter. Brilliant. We've been looking for someone like you. Bob, confused but playing along, shook the man's hand and walked out, somehow landing the job. 3 weeks later, Bob stood in a courtroom, sweating bullets. The judge looked down at him. Mr. Davidson, your opening statement. Bob took a deep breath, adjusted his tie, and said the only thing he could think of. Ladies and gentlemen, justice is like a pizza. The courtroom murmured. The judge frowned. Then, from the jury box, a voice whispered. I'd like to hear more. Bob Davidson won his first case that day. And that, my friends, is how the world's greatest accidental lawyer was born.